Hey, what's up guys, PMA here, once again. Today we're going to be doing an official review of Balak's Pit. The first video that I uploaded, quote unquote, that was a review, that was just part of a live and, I was just giving a shot at the game. At this point, I've actually passed it. So we hit New Game Plus, and to be honest, the game itself is plenty good. So let's get started with the good stuff. There's elements some people like, some people don't like. So for example, this right here, a lot of people consider it sort of a building simulator that you have to manage your establishments, etc., resources, blah blah blah. In essence, it's not really that. So what it would boil down to mostly is this is your skill tree, right? So here you have a bunch of everything. This one lets you gather resources when you're away. This increases the fusion reactor upgrades. Let's go over here. This is a lumber yard, so it collects the materials. Gold mine. This lets you harvest coins. Alchemist. So this increases your scaling of your endurance, which is your health. This is leadership. It's another modifier, one of the stats. Ability to banish upgrades. So all of these things are in-game elements. So some are flat stat increases. Let's see what we have here. Endurance. Some of them are actually houses that you create to unlock the characters, and each house of each character has different perks. So this increases the base stat of the houses, or the stat houses. So we have 6 stats in total. Alright. The game itself is very complete, to be honest. This here increases intelligence. Now this is an endgame piece because you can scale this infinitely, essentially. What else? Leadership. So I made this circle for that because I'm gonna just level that at this point. But yeah, there's just a few things here and there I haven't finished. To begin the castle with the passive. New ball start at level 2. There's even a market. If you want to get some gold, resources, or whatever, you can just trade all that in. It's not an issue. This game is really well structured in that sense. I actually like it. I really do like it. And the game itself is not even too expensive. So for being a roguelike, it's a hell of a deal, to be honest. So granted that, just keep in mind, you can fit it in this whole block. There's still a few things I have to add in here. Nothing special, just resource management, because, well, all the endgame stuff does require a lot of resources. When it comes down to warfare and housing, I've already completed that. And let's just go for a run. We're gonna do whatever. We're literally just gonna pick random. I'm gonna close my eyes and just move around. We can use 2 characters at the same time. It's an upgrade you get down the line. Okay, so we got embedded, and the partner will be another random. You can hear the clicking, just so I'm not lying. And we got repentant. I guess it's backward. I don't know how it works. So the first character has piercing shots until you hit a wall, and the second one does increase damage per bounce. Now, when you hit the back of the wall, your ball is gonna reset. So I don't know if once I hit the back over there, it's gone, and that's that. We're gonna try let's try one of these runs because I want to keep this video time condensed. But the game itself is very complete. So you have a lot of randomization, a lot of items. There's an infinite amount of builds. As you can see here, watch. I started with these items. I'm picking a third one, and it gives you the roadmap of what you can build down the line. Okay, so if you got nothing, it'll tell you. Now, if you hold right trigger, I use control because it's much more comfortable. It tells you your stats, your damage, your effects. If you want to get more in depth, you actually got an encyclopedia. I'm not gonna well, just cycle so you can see all the modifiers, all the things you can get. Bear in mind, it might be a spoiler. There's still one I haven't gotten, but there's plenty of stuff here. Same for items. I don't think I've gotten them all. No, there's some I just haven't figured out where, how to get. This one looks like it would be the sword with, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, bear in mind there are some characters that can actually take more advantage of the items in game, and you can make very nifty and fun runs. There's your repertoire, good amount of characters, and that's that, guys. So we're just gonna go for the run and see what happens. Can't guarantee I'll win, but let's just go for it. Okay, so since I have the piercing shot, I can just stick with that. Bear in mind, right now I'm in New Game Plus, so um, obviously my progress is gonna reflect a bit differently. General premise: you defeat enemies, you get XP, and you go. There's also modifiers along the way. So the general premise of this game is you level up, get items, and you then get fusions. You see that little rainbow ball there? So we're gonna get it, and there's three things you can do here. Evolution, it lets you combine two balls, and you get special effects. Right? Then we have fusions that you fuse two of the balls and you merge those effects into one. You increase their damage and all their properties. They work in synergy. Bear in mind with this, sometimes you have to check which one you put first, because that will be, if not mistaken, the dominant one. So there's sometimes a ball that has, let's just say, area of effects, and then the second one will apply an effect, a status, or something. So if you get the one that does the area of effect and then the status, your area of effect will apply said status. If you put it backwards, it could be, you know, when you hit or whatever, you get that area of effect. But the direct hit only applies to the unit that you touch. So you gotta be real careful with those things. For example, this one, dark, it increases your damage by a multiplier. So if you multiply that with, I don't know, poison, or you mix it, fuse it, you're gonna get poison that will increase its base damage by hit and also the poison damage. But you're gonna get the modifier of dark that once it hits the target, it's gone. Right? So there's a lot of stuff you gotta keep in mind. The last one here is fission, which will give you just upgrades for whatever you have right now. Right now I'm gonna go for a glacier. There you go. Spikes that deal damage to enemies that touch and freeze them for 2 seconds. That's pretty decent. I've never really done much cold runs. People say it's good. How does it work? Okay, fusion, no. I'm gonna do fission because I need the upgrades. Okay, so it actually makes... Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Damn. That's neat. I have heard there is a perk or an item that gives you some ice damage. I've seen it here and there, not too much. In this case, I will have to opt with... Let's try Earthquake. Now me, I'm an avid user of deal 2 to 14 damage every... That's weak. Maybe that could be used to trigger something. So I could turn the glacier into a one-hit wonder with this. It'll hit super hard, but it has a cooldown. So dark has a cooldown of about 3 seconds when it hits. I'm gonna do. No, I'm gonna save it for something better. You know what? I could actually mix Flicker with Glacier and apply the ice everywhere. Maybe, potentially. Let's whoa, 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 whoa. Let's do that and see how it goes. Easy peasy. Oh boy. So that shows you your stats and all your scaling. We're gonna go with this. Since you got piercing shots. You can also banish items, so that way they don't show up on your run again. Like this, I don't want a side hit. I don't need it right now, so I'm just gonna go with this. Direct damage. Seems to be working. So the game itself, like all roguelikes, is a mix of luck. Alright. Okay, let's try a Glacier Flicker. And release glacial spikes over time that deal damage to enemies that touch them and freeze. The ball and its glacial spikes deal damage to nearby units. Oh, so if I have more spikes on the map, they're just gonna keep on ticking. Deal 4 to 20 damage to every enemy on the screen every 1.2 seconds. Okay, that is neat. So, in theory, what I would do is what? Just shoot it on the side. Yeah, and people are ticking. Interesting. Interesting. We're gonna go with. Let's see if we can get this, which is disease, and try to get Flicker again. That way, so that spreads disease damage or poison damage, if you may. And and over time, they start spreading it to everybody else. There you go, virus. Apply one stack of disease. You got a max stack limit and damage per tick, and also a limit. So you have a chance to pass it over. Let's do that. Let's clear it out. Yeah, this is that's a pretty decent run. Gotta make sure you don't die. Thing. Ouch. Fusion, nope. That. I believe I have a revive. Let me see if I can get some, let's do fire rate. Probably needs to be shoot faster. That's not a bad idea. No, I gotta save it. See if I can get what I was aiming for, although I'm a bit late for the run. I need lifesteal is what I need. Or a shield. Okay, let's just do a shield. And trust me, if you don't have the right setups, this can get bad real quick. Okay, I'll just do this because we're gonna hit the end anyway. So this is mixing Broodmother, which spawns. It has a chance to create baby balls anytime you hit somebody. So you apply the disease, and at the bottom right here, spawn balls from Broodmother also have the same properties as virus. So if you get it right, you know, you can do some insane stuff here. Let's It's not just a one-trick pony that hey, this setup always works and that's that. You gotta balance out mob clearing versus boss potential. It's a real good game. Okay, we made it. Um, Pretty sure we're gonna make it. Uh-oh. And that's that. Easy goner. So, in the end, my honest review about Bollocks Pit, get it. You're not gonna regret this game. For the people that are very nitty gritty, it gives you a whole rundown of all your damage and DPS of the run. Real good stuff. 100% recommend this game. 1000% recommend it. Get it as soon as you can because you're gonna have a good time with this game. Thank you so much for your time, guys. You have a great one. Oblivion out.